In today's video, we're taking a look at how to replace, install, or change your vanity top. Easy and simple. This is so easy, anyone could do. Everything that we use on the video, we're gonna leave a link on the description. So you woke up today with the eye of the tiger. You're creating another notch on the to-do list, and you're one step closer to all-time glory. Don't worry, here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. So we're going from a Formica top with sink to a all-in-one culture marble vanity top. No matter what top you have currently or which one you're changing to, the technique is the same. The first thing that you want to do is turn off the water, and you do that under the sink on the shutoff valves, one for cold and one for hot. And remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. A pro tip, having a bucket and a rag under the sink is the way to go. We go ahead and verify that there's no water on the faucet, but in the other hand, we've heard that accumulation of water is the new look. So as they say, at least you would go out in style. And we want to go ahead and remove the lines from both shutoff valves. We can start with pliers and then end up using our fingers. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Depending on how long your lines have been placed, the tighter and harder to remove they might be. So channeling your inner He-Man or woman or both or none comes in handy now. Now that our second assignment is done, is where we put our body to the test, bend it to a pretzel, and reach to the top of the faucet, where we are going to remove the line from the top. You might need a wrench to start with and end up using your fingers. But knowing your strength, probably with your pinky, you can rip off the whole faucet. Now that we removed the one line, we can go ahead and remove the other line. Now that we remove the lines, we can go ahead and remove the nuts that hold the faucet in place. Once again, you might need the pliers to start with and then end up using your fingers. And which one you choose to remove first is up to you. At the end of the day, you are the king, queen, none, or both of your castle. Just because it's top secret information where only a handful know about this, or maybe just you, doesn't mean you're not. We also do this for the other side. If your faucet has a lift rod, we want to go ahead and remove that. And this is the rod that closes your sink or opens it for the water to exit. And this you want to save if you're using the same one. If using a different one, then you can discard. In our case, we're replacing the entire vanity top. So with our install, we're placing a new one. That does not mean that with your new vanity top, you can't use the same one. It all depends on the parts you have. This is the time that you can take to clean your sink before placing in the new one. We go ahead and loosen the P-trap or the J-trap depending on your system, and this basically means the tube that goes to your sink, because the last thing you want is to remove your sink with all the plumbing stuck together and go from a legend to be on one of those videos from Fail Army. Now that we remove the faucet, we can go ahead and remove the sink. And this is if you have a separate top and sink. If you have an all-in-one, then we might see you more down the line of the video. So we get in pretzel position and go back in the vanity. We're gonna see some screws that hold the sink in place. Let's go ahead and loosen that and remove it. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now that you become a loosening lord, we're ready to remove that sink from your home to the neighbor's backyard. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the vanity top. And before you start pulling and ripping your walls out, we want to take a box cutter or a knife and cut where the vanity top meet the wall. And we do this to loosen the caulking or the paint that's stuck to the top. And this helps to avoid any tear out. And you want to pass the knife at least 2 times. You want to angle it down because the last thing you want is to cut the sheetrock on the wall. We go back to pretzel position and you're gonna find some screws that hold the vanity in place. If in your case yours is glued together, you want to use something that goes in between the vanity and the wood and try to cut or loosen the glue or caulking used to adhere the vanity top to the vanity. In this case we have screws and we're going to remove them. We have 2 on each side. Before you become the Hulk and start ripping your vanity top, you want to try it slowly, because even though you have the strength of 10 bears, the willpower of 5 lions, you don't want to take off the vanity and take the sheetrock with you. If you notice any paint coming off the wall, you can use your blade again and try to cut it. Now that we removed the vanity, we want to go ahead and place our vanity top adhesive, and we do this wherever the top is going to meet the vanity. If you have a top that needs screwing, then you can jump this step and just place the vanity and screw it from the bottom. Always make sure that you measure the screws so you won't trespass the vanity. We place our vanity. If you feel it uneven, you can use some wood chim or vanity balancer to accommodate it to level. Now you notice that you have a backsplash problem. Don't worry, on our next video, we're going to show you how to install a backsplash on a bathroom. We're going to leave a link on the description. The first thing that we're going to install is the sink pop-up drain. We go ahead and remove any screwable part. We first start with the top plated nut, and if you're using silicone, caulking, or plumber's putty, is always going to be the same technique. If you're using silicone or caulking, you want to apply it to the nut itself. But if you're using plumber's putty, you want to apply it to the sink. And you do that by taking a small amount of the plumber's putty, rolling it up like a snake, then making a circle the same size of the nut or sinkhole, place it on the sink, then place your nut on top of it and squeeze it down. Don't worry about cleaning the excess until after you tighten it down from the inside. We take the other assembly from the drain and twist it onto the nut. And remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Once we notice it's hand tight, we can go ahead and now tighten the tightening nut. Always remembering to having the entry hole for the pop-up rod facing to the back. We can go ahead and place our P-trap or J-trap back and tighten hand tight. You can also take this time to remove the excess silicone or caulking or plumber's putty on the top. Now we're ready to reinstall the faucet once again. We want to unscrew the nuts for the new faucet, remembering the ancient technique of to the left you loosen and to the right you tighten. Now that you've mastered the art of knob turning, we can go ahead and place silicone under the plate of the faucet. We place the faucet on the sink, bend our body like a pretzel again, have Watson hold the faucet on the top, and give him the one job of not letting the faucet tilt or move from the position you left it at. This is the part of the video where many cry. Now that you delegated Watson this important task, we can go ahead and start turning the nut in place. And we want to do this for both sides. Once we notice the faucet is tight in place and it does not move, you're good to go. As you can see, we have a new rod connection for the new sink installation. This is a clip-on connection that we insert on the drain. We go back up to get some fresh air and insert the rod on the faucet. We go back down to pretzel position and connect the track to the rod. We do some measurements, and if we notice that the track hits the drain tubes, we verify how much of the track we need and cut the excess. If in your case nothing obstructs the track, you may leave it as is. And remember, measure twice, cut once. We get out the tunnel and make the cut. But at the end of the day, whichever system that you use is always going to be the same technique. The only difference might be that some are adjusted right on the rod, and some you have to cut to adjust them to size. We go back to pretzel position and reinstall the track once again to the rod. We insert the one coming out the drain and then secure it with the clip. Now we're ready to place our water lines. Once we install one line at the top, we can go ahead and install the next line. A pro tip, always verify your faucet on the top and the line that you're placing. You want to place cold with cold and hot with hot. But if by mistake you place the cold on the hot and the hot on the cold, sometimes the cap on the top or the knobs can be replaced from one side to the other. So you go from Watson giving you that look to a superhero. You might need pliers to finish them off tight. If after you install you have any leaks, you can always use plumber's tape to secure the connection. Now we're ready to come down the elevator and make the connections at the shutoff valve. Now that your back is wondering why did you take this task, we say on to you, you're almost done. Now comes the most important part of the entire install, and that's testing. Before you turn on the water, if using silicone or caulking, you want to wait the recommended time period or time frame that it says on the instructions for it to dry. If using plumber's putty, you can test it right away. We turn on the water on again and smile at your great work. That's why you're called a hero among mere mortals. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone in the StatUpBox team or someone in the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.